Okay, so what we're going to do now is create 3 additional bones and make them the parents of these 3 bones, and then use the center parent bone to use damped track to track the location of this bone. Then we will tell the left and right parent bones to copy the rotation of the center bone, giving us the ability to have natural eye movements. So go ahead and press the 7 key to go to your top view, and over here, having this bone selected, right now this should be set on a value of 1. So if you press the G key, you will notice that both eyes are not going to rotate. So if we park this over here and go ahead and put this to a value of 0, here we're saying that we want to rotate these eyes individually by using these bones, meaning unnatural eye movement. Okay, right click to cancel. So what I want you to do is just leave this like this. Go ahead and now switch to edit mode. Okay, so here what we're going to do is click on the head of this bone, press the shift key down, click on the head of this bone and this bone. Now press the E key to extrude out bones, press the Y key, and just make them kind of like this big over here. Now go ahead and click on each bone over here that you've created. Make sure that the deform is off. And now go ahead and click on this bone, and here we're going to rename this bone. So this is m.i.flex.c.l. We're going to change this to p.l. Okay, because it's going to become the parent of this bone. Do the same thing for this. Go ahead and change this to p.r and enter. Now whenever you do this by hand, always go to the tail of this bone and press the R key to make sure that this bone is rotating when the x-axis mirror feature is on. Go ahead and click on this center bone, and here we're just going to call this m.i.tracker and enter. Okay, now go ahead and switch this to pose mode. So what we're going to do now is tell this bone to use the damp track to track wherever this bone is going. So go ahead and select this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one, do shift control C, and here we're going to do damped track. Okay, so if we click on this bone, go to the constraints, you can see that here we're simply telling this bone to track wherever this bone is going along its y-axis. Okay, so that solves that. Now we're going to simply tell this bone to copy the rotation of this bone. So go ahead and click on this bone first, press the shift key down, click on this one, do shift control C, and just do copy rotation. So here you can see that this bone is going to now point to the same direction that this bone is pointing. Do the same thing again, click on this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one, do shift control C, and now do copy rotation. Now go ahead and click this and put this to a value of 1. So here you will see that the eyes are simply going back to their original position, and they are not really rotating when we press the G key. This is because we haven't established parent-child relationships. Remember, wherever the parent goes, the child will follow. So here we're simply just going to switch to edit mode, click on this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one, and do control P and do keep offset. Go ahead and click on this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one, do control P and do keep offset. And here we're also going to do the same thing. Now we don't actually have to do this, but it's a good idea to just do it. So click on this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one, do control P and do keep offset. Okay, now when you switch to pose mode, you can see that wherever we move this bone, the eyes are always going to follow it. So you can press the 1 key to go to the front view and press the G key to see this. Okay, so now you can park this bone anywhere that you want. Then you can turn this off and now individually rotate the eyes, okay, to give unnatural eye movements. Now let's say we park it over here, go back to this bone, and when we turn this on, we will get natural eye movements. Okay, you can just click this and do Alt G to reset the location, or you can just press the A key, do Alt R and G to reset the rotation and location. Go ahead and press the 7 key. So the question is going to come down to how come we don't really have to create parent-child relationships between this bone and the bone that's inside it. So here you're going to have to press the 7 key. Now we don't have to do this, but we did it anyways, is because if you click over here, you can see that the stretch 2 is simply working like a damped track. The difference here is this bone is going to stretch depending on how far or where this bone is moving, right? And if we click on this bone, it's just using damped track. So it's doing the same thing. So meaning that having a parent-child relationship is really not solving anything, but it's just a good idea to do it, okay? So just press the 7 key to go back to solid view. So now what we're going to do is fix the parent-child relationships between these new bones that we've created, okay? So let's go ahead and switch to edit mode. So if we click over here, you will notice that if we go to the bone tab, this is saying the parent is dev head. If we click over here, this is dev head, and if we click over here, this is dev head. Okay, so what we need to do is fix that. We need to make sure that the parent for this bone is the m.head.flex.c. So go ahead and click on this, press the shift key down, click on this one, and here we're going to do Control P and do keep offset. Now when you have x-axis mirror, if you click on this bone, you should actually get the same parent, which we do. Go ahead and click on this one and press the shift key down, click on this one, do Control P, and now do keep offset. Okay, so that's established. Now go ahead and press the 3 key to go to your right view, and here go ahead and switch to pose mode. Now go to the data tab, press the shift key down, and turn on this layer where we have the head.touch bone. Click this. Now press the R key to rotate. So here you can see that everybody is rotating correctly. Okay, so now what I want you to do is make sure that this is head follow chest. We're going to make this to 0. Go ahead and press the R key to ensure that it's working. Yep, that works. And here we're going to also turn this off. Okay, now here you can enable the shapes to see how this is going to work. Okay, so what we're going to do now is add another feature over here. Here basically what we want is we want to have the ability where we can take this i.center.touch bone, press the G key, and stick it to any object, right? And then we can click on this head bone and press the R key 2 times to rotate it. And this should not rotate with it, right? So to do this, what I want you to do is go ahead and press the A key to select everything, do Alt R and G to reset the rotation and location. Go ahead and press the A key to deselect everything, and here go ahead and switch to edit mode. So here click on any joint over here, press the E key to extrude out a bone and just put it, let's say, over here. Click on this bone, press the shift key down, click on this one. Now do Control Alt A to align this bone. Go ahead and switch to pose mode. Click on this bone first, press the shift key down, click on this one, do Shift Control C. In here we're going to do copy transforms. Now what we're going to do is basically tell this bone to be the child of this new bone over here. So go ahead and switch to edit mode. Click on this i.center.touch bone, press the shift key down, click on this inner bone. Now do Control P and do keep offset. Now go ahead and switch this to pose mode. So here you will notice that when we click over here on this head bone and press the R key, this touch bone over here is going to follow, right? But if we click over here and go to the constraints and turn this off, now click this, press the R key, you will notice that that is going to stay in place. That's what we want. Okay, now in order for this to work correctly, we have to switch to edit mode, click on this bone, go to the bone tab, and we have to make sure that its parent is the root bone. Okay, this is the only way we can keep this bone to stand still. Okay, so now go ahead and switch to pose mode. You will see that over here, when this is off, when you click this, press the R key, it will just stay still. When you click this and put this to value of 1, now it will rotate, meaning it's going to take this with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and now just do the middle mouse button to rotate a bit, zoom in, press the tab key to go into edit mode, click on all these 3 bones, press the 3 key, and here we're going to now put this a little further. Go ahead and zoom out until you get the big grid units. Press the control key down, click on this green arrow and take it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, now go ahead and switch back to pose mode. So now when you click over here and press the R key, you will notice that this is how this is going to work. Okay, now if we click over here and turn off the influence, click over here and press the R key, we get to keep this anywhere that we want. But notice over here, if you look closely, that the eyes are always going to point at that location, so you can rotate the head in any way that you want. Okay, that's what we want. So go ahead and press the A key to select everything, and just do Alt R and G to reset the rotation and location. Or press the A key to deselect everything. So of course we're going to have to create drivers to turn this feature on and off. So just right click, do add a driver, and just do manually create a later. Now the question is, where exactly should we put this feature? I like to put it on the eye.center.touch bone. You can actually put this anywhere that you want. So anyways, having this selected, because we already have align eyes, here I'm just going to go to the bone tab and click on add. Okay, now go ahead and click on edit, and here we're just going to say eyes follow head. Okay, go ahead and click on OK on this. Now let's go ahead and bring up the graph editor and set up the driver. Go ahead and switch to drivers. Go ahead and you're going to have to select on this bone, click over here, go to drivers, go ahead and expand this. This has to be on single property. Over here we're going to click on armature, and of course we're going to just click over here, go down, and here we want eyes follow head. Just right click this, do copy data path, go ahead and select on this. Over here do Control V to paste. Now here we're just going to type in VAR and enter. Now go ahead and just close this up. So let's see how this is working. So if you click on this, press the R key, it should rotate with it. Now when we click over here and say that eyes don't follow the head, it will just go down, right? Now you can click this and press the R key to rotate the head any way that you want, and the eyes will always look at this. Now when we click over here and turn this back on, this should come back to its original place, right? So here you can see that if you look closely, how we're using the alignment of bones to our advantage, right? It's simply aligning itself back to that bone. So anyways, that's how this works. So we're going to leave this at a value of 1 and a value of 1. Now press the A key to select everything, do Alt R and G to reset the rotation and location. Okay, so what we want to do now is go ahead and take a look at this bone that is stretching. Click this. Okay, now what I want you to do is go ahead and go to the constraints and just click on reset, so it'll go back to the way it was. Now we're going to be creating bone shapes, so we're going to see how this concept is going to work. But right now what you've done is basically completed the eye module. So go ahead and let's put this over here, do file save as, and we're going to call this rigging lesson 3 h.blend. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.